Okay.
Hi, I want to welcome everybody to my home on this special night. I know it wasn't easy to come out with Motzei Shabbos and family on this special day of Rosh Chodesh. We have been getting together here with, I call us the Holy Ladies, for the past 5 or 6 years. I can't keep count, but it was before COVID started. And the reason why we got together was because we were a bunch of ladies who were pretty much like-minded. And when COVID started, we didn't want to stay home. We wanted to have guests. We wanted to visit sick people in the hospitals. We didn't want to really follow the rules that they were telling us to do, because I personally felt like it was going against what we're supposed to do as Jews. Anyway, my topic here that everybody knows what I love to talk about the most is vaccines. So I'm not going to really get too much into the science of vaccines. My whole point here is to talk about the Torah perspective of it, because most Jews around the world who are religious, they always say the same thing, that we're listening to the rabbis. And I want to thank the Rebbetzin for giving me this opportunity.
With pleasure.
To speak to her platform, and hopefully this message will reach a lot of people. So basically, the reason why I'm coming to speak is because there's real halachic ramifications, problems with these shots. And the 3 main areas that I'm going to talk about is, one is from the Torah, where we know we have to guard over our bodies. It's written in Devorim. We can't inject anything harmful into our bodies. We're not allowed to be part of an experiment, especially if it could be something dangerous inside. So does everybody know what this is?
Cigarettes.
This is cigarettes. Okay, it's in Hebrew, but it does have on it a black box warning. Do you guys know what a black box warning is? It says in here that if you smoke this, you can die from cancer. You can die. So we know that smoking cigarettes is a sore, because you're not allowed to put anything harmful into your body. Does everybody here know that a vitamin K shot also has a black box warning on it? Vitamin K. And people tell me it's just vitamin K.
What they're giving to babies.
What they're giving to the babies from the first hour that they're born, they are running to give them this vitamin K. The amount of vitamin K in it, if this is the shot, the amount of vitamin K is this much. And it has a fatal warning on it. You might not believe me. You can go look it up. The other stuff that's inside there are things that are like formaldehyde, aluminum, mercury, fibrosate 80, and the reason why the Christian people don't take it is because it has aborted fetal tissue in it. Now, you might think the baby is dead anyway. No, the baby has to be taken out with a water abortion. That means the baby has to be kept alive. The baby is not allowed, I'm sorry I'm getting graphic. People need to know this. The baby is not given any anesthetics, okay? Because they need to keep it viable in order to culture the cells onto the fetus, and then they make vaccines out of that. Okay, so this is what we're getting into. The other part is the experimentation. In the Holocaust, they experimented on the Jews. They experimented with Dr. Mengele. They were testing on twins, Yimach Shema. And people might not know this, but Pfizer is a BioNTech company that's from Germany. And they came to experiment on Israel first, on the Jewish people. This is literally history repeating itself over again. Okay, so that's the second problem. And we know now that it's harmful because it was experimental. They said they took Israel because Israel has a very advanced medical record system, so we could see what's happening. And the third thing is...
Who said that Israel became the lab rats of the
That's
world.
right, the Pfizer, the Borla, the CEO said that Israel is the laboratory, we are the lab rats.
But he said it himself.
He's Jewish himself. We're going to get to the Erevav later. And then the last part of it is that we are not allowed to go to a doctor if there's no immunity. Okay? These vaccines, they have complete immunity. Exactly. They have complete immunity. That means if something happens to you, nobody takes responsibility. You can't sue them. They're above the law. Okay? I want to get into going back to the experimental part of this. Does anybody here know who Dr. Stanley Plotkin is?
Yes, I watched it. I remember.
Okay. This is a book. This is a guy. His name is Aaron Siri. He wrote a book called Vaccines Amen. He's Jewish, but I will tell you this much, that I've heard, and I've been in this for 14 years, that even the Goyim are calling this a religion. Who says, I believe in vaccines? Like, who says, I believe in cars? I believe, this is what it is. It's a belief. Okay, so Dr. Stanley Plotkin was put on stand because Aaron Siri is part of, he's a lawyer. He's probably the best constitutional lawyer that ever lived. And he's working for the Informed Consent Action Network. And he is winning cases against the CDC, the NIH, and the FDA. You cannot win cases with conspiracy theories. You win cases with facts, with science, and with evidence. This Stanley Plotkin was deposed for 9 hours by Aaron Siri, where he admitted, first of all, that he's an atheist. 2, that his book that he wrote, Plotkin on Vaccines, he says it's more accurate than the Bible. Okay? These are the people who we are supposed to be listening to people like him, who are anti-God, but have no problem worshing science.
Dr. Stanley Plotkin admitted that they're fetal,
Right, he admitted that there were aborted fetal, that they have to be kept live. He admitted all of those things. He admitted all those things. If anybody wants to see that, we can send it up. We can send it. The other thing about he admitted was that, why do I say it's experimental? Okay, maybe you might think the COVID vaccine was experimental, but did you know that the childhood vaccines, something else this high priest of the vaccine cult admitted to, was that they only studied this for 3 to 5 days. Show me one drug product from a pharmaceutical company that studied for 3 to 5 days. It doesn't exist. So why did they do this? Because in the 1980s, they were being sued so badly. The parents that were getting injured kids were suing so badly, and the pharmaceutical companies were paying out a lot of money. And then Ronald Reagan was in office, and they said, we're not going to make vaccines anymore. And he said, we'll give you immunity. So that's the reason why, after 1986, the amount of vaccines on the schedule went up. Because now they don't have to take responsibility for the shots, and they're continuing. And we know that part of their agenda, because we're not talking about people who want money. They say money, money, but they have a lot of money. They have another agenda, and I'm not making this up. You can look at it in the TED conference when Bill Gates stands up and says, we have too many people in the world. And how are we going to solve that problem? We're going to make family planning. That makes sense. Abortions, family planning, vaccines, and medical care. Wait a minute. Aren't vaccines and medical care supposed to extend people's life? How is that going to lower people's life? Because this is not just about making the money and getting, now your child needs to be on ADD medicine, now your child has diabetes when he's 5, now your child is 2 years old and needs glasses. This is about reducing the size of the population. And we've gone from a 12% chronic disease in children to today, almost 60% of chronic disease in children. And allergies and all the other things. So these are the problems that I have with vaccines. Now, when this whole thing happened with COVID and people were saying, yeah, the rabbis, this is a hard one, but after the shot was given and we saw the results of it, there were 3 big Beis Dinim, and I have the psak from the Beis Din. They brought experts from all around the world. I believe it was Rabbi Uri Sofer, who from Bnei Brak, that put things together. Every single Beis Din said it was asur. And they came and they said, they came and they heard both sides of the story. So that means a rabbi cannot give a psak without hearing both sides of the story. I don't know if anybody here ever took anybody to a Beit Din, or if anybody here took somebody to a Rav. Do you know that if you go to a Rav and you tell the Rav a story about you and somebody else and you want him to be the judge, he won't even, he say you have to find somebody else because you already told me the other guy's story. So that means you have to find somebody who hears both sides at the same time in front of the rabbi, so you can hear what he's saying and that you have an opportunity to defend. We did not have that here. When Rabbi Uri Sofer got together with these Beis Dinim, the Mizrah B'riyut came, doctors from the Kupot came, on our side came, and anyone who saw the facts said it was asur. There was one based in that heard the facts, wanted to say that it was a sore, and got death threats. This is how deep it goes. This is how deep it goes. And they know that the Jewish people listen to the rabbis. They know this.
Trusted prophecy. But there were many rabbis who said no.
They weren't listening to them because those rabbis...
Rosh Yeshiva of Lakewood, he also said no.
Yeah, but they weren't listening to them. They were the majority stance was when I talk about this, I'm talking about the Erev Rav, and the people think the Erev Rav are just the people who are sitting in the government. Okay, Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, I believe it was, said there's 5 groups of Erev Rav, and one of them are people who look religious. They look religious. They might act religious. They might have big organizations, and this, unfortunately, will be our downfall. The Vilna Gaon said that the last war we're going to fight is going to be the Erev Rav. And the hardest part of that war is going to be to convince your neighbor who the Erev Rav is. So it's not that hard to see that there could be corruption, okay, amongst some of these rabbis. And then you have the people that are the other rabbis who are just kind of like, it says in the Torah that the face of the generation of Mashiach is going to be the face of a dog. Why? Because when you're going, the dog is going in front of the master, running in front. He's constantly looking behind him to see, where's my guy going? Is he going that way or this way? So that's what's going to be. That in the end of the days, the Rabbanim are going to look to see what the other rabbis said. And I'm going to paskin like that. That's not a psak. A real psak is to hear both sides of the story. I challenge anybody online who hears me. Okay? If you're a doctor, if you're a scientist, come. Let's debate. Because I know that the science is on my side. I have it. You don't. You can say as much as you want, safe and effective, for 3 years. When doctors go to medical school, they teach them for a day and a half about vaccines. They drill it. Safe and effective, safe and effective, safe. That's it. They don't even see one study on vaccines. Okay? So if you repeat something over and over enough, it makes it like it's true, but it's not. There's tons of books. There's tons of stuff. When I woke up about this 14 years ago, everything was available online. Today, you cannot find this online. They've wiped it. Google is owned by Alphabet. Alphabet is a pharmaceutical company. So if you want to do a deep dive on this, ask me for the books. Ask me for the places where you can see the truth. Go to the FDA. Go to the website. Look inside the insert package. Look inside their tests, how they did the studies. They've never done a placebo-controlled study. Never. Do you know what that means? One group that has the vaccine, the other group has a placebo. No, they don't do that. They give them one group the vaccine, let's say the vitamin K shot. The other group, they'll give everything else except the vitamin K. And they say that's their placebo trial. That's pseudoscience, that's junk science. And this is what they're going by. And this is what the world believes. The science is settled. The science is not settled. The science is not settled. What I want to impart here, and everybody knows I talk about this, and though I've lost clients, I've lost friends, even some family members think I'm nuts, I don't really care. What I care about is
But we know you're nuts and it's okay.
I care what Hashem thinks. I care what Hashem thinks. I'm gonna do the right thing. Why?
It's a good nuts.
Because you know what they say before Mashiach, the crazy people are gonna be the ones that are right. So, what's it called? Dr. Zelenko. I have to talk about Dr. Zelenko because he's the one who said this. He should have a Aliyah Neshama. This Dr. Zelenko from Muncie, Chabadnik. He was the one who treated Trump. He was the one who treated Rav Chaim Kanievsky. He was the one who said, we have a cure. It's called hydroxychloroquine. Oh, no, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. Because if there's a cure, guess what you can't do? You can't warp speed a vaccine. This whole thing was political. But I'll get it even deeper. I want you to think critically. Did you know that the word vaccine comes from the Latin word called vacca? You know what vacca means in Latin? Cow. Because the first vaccine was from smallpox from a cow. Do you think that was a coincidence? That's not a coincidence. There are no coincidences in the Torah. That's a clear sign. Wake up. Wake up. The doctor is not God. They think they might be God. They're not God. Okay, and they're worshiping this science of pseudoscience of vaccines. So when we first did that sin of the golden calf, who was doing it? The Erev Rav. And nobody stopped them, apparently. So guess what? When nobody stopped them, they also died. They were responsible. When we first got the Torah, we were responsible for our own sins. After that happened, we were responsible for other people's sins. That means if you see a Jew doing something wrong, you have to tell them. You have to tell them. This is not right. You're doing this. You have to show them. So we have to learn how to have a little bit of a thicker skin in the game. And hopefully we'll see more people waking up to the truth. That's all I have to share with you. And if anybody online has any more information that they would like, please be in touch with the Rebbitzin. And we have many people here who are willing to educate people on our own time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.